Hey everybody, Sarah here, and I just wanted to give you a quick update on the Women of the Bible study that we're going to be doing. And I have to be completely honest and say that it's running a little bit behind. My husband got hurt at work, and so he's been home for a couple of months, which has kind of changed my schedule a little bit, to say the least. But I wanted to give you guys a quick update just to get you excited about the study and give you a few more details about the study. I am going to be sharing the videos here on the Facebook group with you guys for the study, but I'm thinking of housing the videos somewhere else so that they're kept safe, you know, in the event that Facebook goes down or whatever the case may be. That may just be on my website, where I will just have the videos saved in one place where you could go there later and watch them if you can't access the Facebook site or something like that. Or I may do it through Teachable and then also share them in the group on Facebook, but I will update more about that as I make that final decision. I haven't made that decision yet, but again, they'll be accessible through the Facebook group like I originally stated, because I want to keep it simple for you guys, but then also accessible somewhere else too. So I'm going to share all the links here for everything. The book, if you don't have it, it's not a requirement for you to follow along by any means, but I know that Amazon still has it. There were some used copies, even as little as like less than $2. So fairly inexpensive to get if you don't have this book. And this book was actually in the form of a magazine, and what I just did with it last week, guys, is I took it to my local office supply store and they rebound it for me, which is fabulous, because I want to go ahead. I'm not sure if you can see that or not. Let's see. They did the plastic spiral binding for me on the side, and what I actually had them do is I went ahead and I put table of contents here, but I put a blank piece of paper in between each page so that as I go through the study, what I can do is I can do a journaling page that focuses mainly with graphics, and then on the other side I can do, you know, a lot of note-taking or whatever it is that I want to do with each particular woman of the Bible that we're discussing, you know, whether it's going through and highlighting my reading or whatever the case may be. And so that was really fabulous. If you have access to a supply store that will do that for you, it's really nice just to have that spiral binding, because then you can journal in it and the book can grow and you still have room for it. And I thought this way, you know, if I decide I don't want an extra page in here for one of the particular lessons, then I can just tear it out. It's no big deal. But I like having the space and the option to do that. And guys, I took this in there and they rebound this for me, spiral bound, and they put the clear, it's just a thin clear protective cover on the front and the back of the book, and they did it for me for $5. So, you know, if it's something that you want to keep for a long time and you want to have the space to journal in like that, then that's great. If not, you know, you certainly can use a journal, a notebook, anything that you have, just regular blank paper. No big deal. I just thought I would share what I did there, and it was really inexpensive. So I am going to be creating some free printables that I will be sharing as we go through and study each of these 31 women. And so if you have the book and want to just use that, and I will share some of my free printables for you to use as we go throughout the study, then you'll have access to all of those. And I also have been working with some other ladies that do some wonderful printables And I have one so far, if you're familiar with the Beautiful Good News shop. She does beautiful work, and this is just one of her printables. She has the mini series of some women of the Bible, and she's working on a couple more for me that I don't think she had. This is Eve and JL, and so it's great because we'll have one of these accessible for each of the 31 women once she completes. I think there were only a few more that she is working on for me. And she has generously given me a discount code, so if you want to go grab those throughout the study, I will share that code also when the study gets going here. And I also had an example of a couple more. I know Bible Journaling Ministries has some really great prints on their store also, and this is, I believe it was just a digital stamp of Ruth, and that's a really great one. I know you can shrink it down if you want it smaller, but that's just a really great image there. And then also Charlene Warwick, if you're not familiar with her art, she's a fabulous artist, and her shop is Artspirations, and this is her Rahab printable, and it also comes in black and white, so you could use the black and white and just leave it blank, or you could add your own color, or you could use the color. And I know she has a handful of different women in her shop, and they are, as you can see, fabulous. So, and there are also some other shops that have some Women of the Bible printables. Sweet Frog Print Shop I know has some, his palette has some, and Print Pray Slay also have some, and I will list links to those shops so you guys can check those out along the way. And if I come across any others, I will share those as well. And if you come across any others, feel free to share those in the group so everyone can have access to some great graphics as we're going along in the study, so we can just make the most of our study and have a wonderful time. And I am not sure quite yet when the study is going to start. Like I said, I'm just a little bit behind, and I want to have a good majority of the videos that I'm going to share initially completed to be able to start the study, because I don't want to just have a couple videos done and start the study and then come against something that's going to stop the study. So that being said, I will keep updating you guys as I get closer to being ready to launch the study. And keep in mind, there are 31 women that we're studying here. I haven't decided how long we are going to give each of these women. I don't know if we necessarily need a week for each one, because that makes the study quite long, but I'm not opposed to that either. So maybe if you want to give me some feedback on that, if you want a week to do each woman, because I am going to come up with some reading to go along. Of course, there'll be scripture reading to go along with each woman here. I'll just find the verses that are relevant, that we can just go to the Bible to coincide with who we're studying. And then there's if you don't have the book, there's really good questions for you to think about in the book, but I'll also probably come up with some more, just so we can have a little more in-depth study of the women of the Bible. These are some amazing women. And, you know, it may not be bad for us to take a week for each one, or maybe even 3 or 4 days for each one, because I think it warrants a little bit more time. I don't think one day is fair, because they're very important. And I also think that life happens, and if we just say we're going to study this person one day and then go on to the next woman the next day, that really doesn't give you time, if you don't have a second during that day, to sit down and do your reading or journaling for that. So I think we may do a few days or even a week for each woman. And I know that drags the study out fairly long throughout the year, but I think it's best if we do that, because that way it'll make an in-depth study. We can share, we can ask questions, we can pray about things that we would like to have answers to. If we don't have answers, we can research and just get a lot from this study together. And I think that's probably the best way to go. So, but I would like your input and thoughts on that, whether you would like, 3 days or a week for each one. I'm actually leaning more, just as I'm doing this, I'm leaning more towards a week, just because I personally would really like to get to know a lot about these amazing women of the Bible. So at any rate, I just wanted to give you an update of where I am and show you kind of what I've done here with my book. And as I said, I'll keep you updated, and the closer I get, I will share with you once I decide where I'm going to actually house the videos for viewing. And as far as I know, they'll be accessible through Facebook. I mean, I'm not going to take them out of the group, the Facebook group. So, you know, if Facebook remains, then they'll still be there, but I'll also probably just house them somewhere on my website and maybe somewhere else too. And again, I will list all of the links where you can get this book if you don't have it. Amazon has some good, in good condition ones used that are very inexpensive. And then I'll also list the links for the printables, and as I get my free printables ready, they'll be accessible through the group also, and also on my website. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I love you guys, and I can't wait to start this awesome study with you guys so soon. God bless you guys.